What's going on, everyone, and welcome to Total Swans TV. Welcome to a brand new series starting on the channel. As the season has now started, the championship season is back. Why not start something new? There is going to be a weekly Gaffr.io championship fantasy football updates videos coming to the channel. So if you don't know what that is, basically it's a fantasy football sort of dream team game for the EFL Championship. This is something I've been waiting for and wanting for many years, and also have had myself many ideas about sort of an app or a website for this. So I'm extremely excited to have something to make the season a little bit more exciting and competitive. So basically in each video each week, we'll look at how my team are doing personally in the Total Swans TV Open League. So we currently have 45 teams competing in that at the moment. If you want to join that now, the code is on the screen. I'll also put the link to the website in the description. So we'll look at how my team are doing. Then we'll also look at how the league leaders are doing in the private league. And we'll have a look through a couple of the teams in the top 10, you know, so for some sort of ideas of players that we can pinch and add to our own teams. We'll also take a look at the team of the week. There's currently no feature for this on the website from what I can see, so it is a case of scouring through each and every team to find out which player scored the most points, and basically just eliminating certain players. So maybe that is something that may come to the website in the future, and we'll also check out the overall league leaders squads and see how they're doing as well. So each week, basically, I want you guys to get involved with the videos. I want your thoughts on the upcoming fixtures and what players you'll be adding to your teams as well. So as this is the first video of the channel for this type of thing with the fantasy football, I thought I'd give you guys a very quick breakdown of the rules and the scoring system. So running through a few of the rules, and then we'll get into the scoring sort of breakdown. So as you can see on the screen now, there is the initial team selection. So using your budget of 100 million, you must select a team consisting of 2 goalkeepers, 5 defenders, 3 midfielders, and 3 forwards. A limit of 3 players can be selected from a single team. Please note, in the interest of fairness, only 1 team per person is allowed. So only 1 account, you know, 1 team per account. As far as formations then go, each game week you must select a starting keeper and 10 outfield players, obviously a starting 11. So a formation of 3-4-3, 3-5-2, 4-4-2, 4-5-1, 5-2-3, 5-3-2, and 5-4-1. Whichever formation of those you want to go for, those are the formations within the game itself. So moving on to the captaincies and the vice captains and emergency captains. So each game week you must nominate 3 players to fill the following roles. If you choose to, obviously you can just keep these going throughout the entire season of the players that you've selected. But as a suggestion, I would mix it up and, you know, choose different captains and vice captains as such. So double points for captain. For a vice captain, you get your points multiplied by 1.5, and then rounded down if the result is not a whole number. For example, 5 would become 7. The emergency captain will fill the role of the captain or vice captain if either player has 0 minutes on the pitch during that game week. If both captain and vice captain do not play, then the role of the captain will be prioritized. So the way that substitutes work, each week you can set an order of substitutions on the bench. If any of your starting 11 does not play in the game week, they will be replaced by the highest priority according to the order you selected. Substitutes who played and whose introduction maintains a valid formation as specified in the formation section. So for example, if you're playing a 3-4-3 formation and one of your defenders doesn't play, then you can only be replaced by another defender, as the introduction of the midfielder would result in an illegal formation as such, 2-5-3. However, if you play in 4-5-1 formation and one of your midfielders does not play, then they can be replaced by either a defender or an attacker, as these would both result in legal formations being 5-4-1 or 4-4-2. On to transfers. You have unlimited transfers until the first game week takes place. So that has already passed, so unfortunately you can now not mix your team up. Once your team is selected, you're then stuck until the transfers open each week. So after this, you can make 1 free transfer each week to replace any player throughout your squad in the same position, providing you have sufficient funds. If the player you are bringing in costs less than the player you are transferring out, then the budget in the cost will be added to your bank, so you'll have additional fees to spend on the next week's transfer. You can carry forward transfers if you do not use all available transfer fees in the game week. So if you have one available and you choose not to make it that week, then you have 2 transfers available for the following game week. So maybe something to keep in mind. You will never have more than 2 transfers in a given game week. So there you go. So you can bank one game week's transfer, use the 2 of them the following week, but you can then not bank any additional ones after that. You can make as many transfers as you like each week, but each additional transfer beyond your available free transfer will deduct 4 points per player from next game week. So again, something serious to consider, but towards the end of the season, maybe something to consider if you need those points to get a bit higher up the table. Okay, and now moving on to the scoring system. It's fairly straightforward, but there's a couple of additional ones which you don't normally get in other Dream Team or fantasy football apps and leagues. So that's quite an addition to this type of game. On the screen now you can see the point scoring system. So this is points for eligible for any player in any position. So 1 minute played you get 1 point, 60 minutes plus played you get an additional point. For a goal it's 5 excluding penalties. For an assist it's 3, penalty 1 you get 3 points, and a penalty scored you get 3 points. So if you're the attacker or the player who won the penalty and takes the penalty, that's 6 points for a penalty, so that's really good. So you don't also then get the 5 points for the goal. Then we move on to some points per position. So obviously clean sheets are obviously only eligible for midfield, for defenders and goalkeepers. That's plus 2 points per clean sheet per player. You get 2 points for a first half clean sheet and 2 points for a second half clean sheet. So that is something new to a fantasy football sort of app. If you concede 2 goals, you get -1. If you do concede a goal, I believe you get a -1 as well, but I don't see that on this. If you concede 2 goals, you get -1. That's defender and goalkeeper. A yellow card is -1, a red card is -3. For an attacker, a yellow card is -2, so it's double the points. And for an attacker, for a red card, it's -4, so it's an additional point compared to any other position. For 3 saves plus, a goalkeeper gets an additional point. If the goalkeeper saves a penalty, they get 5 additional points. On this fantasy football app, there are performance points, so you get additional points based on the player's performance. It's not very complicated, but it's a little bit complicated and a bit lengthy to go into on the video, so I'll scroll through it just real quick. You can freeze frame it or just go and check out the rules on the website. But as I say, you get points based on performances. 4 maximum players can be allocated points, so it'll be +1, +2, +3, +4. But then it gets a little bit complicated. So have a quick read through that. So that's another interesting little addition to a fantasy football app where you can get additional points based on just your player's performance. There are then the boost options, which you get obviously in a couple of other fantasy football apps, where you can get double points for a full bench, or you can get all of your entire team transferred out. Certain little boosts. There are a number of different boosts that you can play to give yourself an advantage in a given game week. You have the option of playing any 3 boosts from a pool of 6. They can be played at any time, but you can only play the boosts once in a game week. The pool will refresh every 15 game weeks, so you will have 9 boosts you will have 9 boosts, 3 per pool in a total play across the entire season. The game weeks are 1 to 15, 16 to 30, and then 31 to 46. So that's when you'll get your additional boosts back. Every pool will contain the same boosts, so don't count on being able to play 3 multi-captains in a season. So the boosts are, you've got overhaul. You can make unlimited transfers for the game week. These are permanent changes to your team. They will not revert after that game week. So if you've made all those transfers, don't expect your team to go back to what it was before that. You've got the super sub, which is all substitutes. Points scored count towards your total. So if you've got 4 players on the bench who have all played but are not in your starting 11, if they've all picked up points, those will all add towards your week's total points. You've then got the captain fantastic, which is where the captain will score triple points, the vice captain will score double, and the normal emergency captain rules apply. There's Park the Bus, which has already been used fantastically in game week 1. Defenders score double, but your captains don't get any multiplier points. And then you get the midfield generals, where is a 1.5 multiplier applied to all the midfield, scores rounded down if not a whole number, and no captain multipliers apply as well. And then you've got the multi-captain, so captain, vice captain, and emergency captains all score double. So that's 3 players in a game where you can score double points. So there's an awful lot of boosts there to consider. As they say, they will not be the same during every pool, so it would be a serious consideration to sort of plan and strategize your boosts as the season goes on. There are then price changes to players, but these details are still to be decided and apparently to be announced prior to the commencement of the 2020-21 season. So there's only been game week 1 so far, so it is not too late to register your team, create your account, and join any private league that you can get a code for. As I say, I'll pop the code up on the screen once again now, and the link is in the description to register. It's completely free, so you may as well get involved. It'll make the season a little bit more interesting, especially for fans such as Wickham, Rotherham, and Sheffield Wednesday. Sorry guys, but you're my tipped 3 teams to be relegated this season. If you haven't checked that out already, there's a card pop up now for my championship predictions for this season. So head over to Gaffr.io on any of your web browsers on any device, create an account, choose your team, and register with a league. And why not? It's something a bit more interesting as the season goes on. So with all that said and done, guys, let's take a look at my team. A pretty defensively strong team with a good few players in attack as well. This week, game week 1, I had a total amount of points of 60. So to be fair, that's not a bad start. I'm quite pleased with that. I had some players who picked up maximum points in their position, and I had a couple of players who were, let's say, off par that week, and 1 or 2 rookie mistakes as well. So we'll get into those as we go. So first up then, in goal is Swansea City's #1, Freddy Woodman, on loan from Newcastle again for his second spell. Very good start to the season for Freddy Woodman. He's picking up 10 points this game week. These are very, very good points. His stats were pretty impressive during this game, but to be fair, Preston didn't really threaten him too much. But he did pick up some very interesting points, as I say. So he picked up a +2 for his minutes played, which was +60 minutes. He then got a clean sheet in the first half and in the second half, so that was 4 points total there as well. He then made 4 saves plus. I think he made 4 saves in the match in total, so that was an additional point as well. And then he had 3 performance points as well at the end of the game. Performance points are going to play a massive part in this season. I think it's very interesting. It adds something a little bit different to the fantasy football. But a pretty substandard game for Freddy Woodman. He had to do what he needed to do. And when he was called upon, he reacted with instinct. So, in all fairness to Freddy Woodman, a very good game and a fantastic game week for him. FOTMob's player rating for Freddy Woodman was a 7.3 out of 10. So getting on to the next player, we have Pederson of Birmingham, the left back, only picking up 5 points for myself, which not fantastic, but they did beat Brentford on the opening day. So 2 points from 60 plus minutes played. First half clean sheet, a second half clean sheet, but then the score was dampened a little bit by a yellow card. So that brings his score down from 6 down to 5. So in all fairness, a solid performance against one of the favourite sides to gain promotion. The player had a pass accuracy of 90%, which is very good considering some of the stats you'll see in my squad. 10 deals won, he made 8 clearances, committed 2 fouls, made 3 interceptions and 2 recoveries of the ball, so a pretty solid defensive performance. And hopefully that continues, because he was an outstanding player last season and he's the reason he's in my squad this year. So a FOTMob player rating of 7.7 for Pederson. Moving on then into centre-back is Hutchinson, the Millwall centre-back. They faced Stoke this week and he picked up 6 points. For those 6 points, it was a 60-minute performance plus, so I think he played a majority of the game, and it was a first half and a second half clean sheet, so just the standard 6 points there, but a clean sheet nonetheless, so a fantastic defensive performance. He only managed a pass success rate of 63%, in 90 minutes with only 25 successful passes. So not fantastic. Definitely, certainly some improvement to come. But he only attempted 40 passes. He lost more aerial deals than he won, which is, as a defender, a centre-back, you want him to be winning a lot more aerial deals than what they're losing. So a FOP mob rating of 6.2 for Sean Hutchinson. His centre-back pairing for my team this season is Joe Rodon of Swansea City. A 1-0 win at Preston, as I just said, with Freddy Woodman there. There was actually quite a few players that I could have picked from Swansea in centre-back. I definitely wanted a centre-back from the Swans, but I opted for Joe Rodon. He's just come back from a long-term injury. Just missed out on the international appearances for Wales last week. But he's back fully fit now, and he played 90 minutes in this game. So 2 points picked up there for that. 2 points for a first half clean sheet, 2 points for a second half clean sheet. And he got 3 points for the performance boost as well. So that is absolutely fantastic. As I said, that is going to play a massive, massive role this year. Only a 48% success pass rate, making 15 of 31 attempts. He won 10 duels and lost 3. He won 8 aerial duels while losing 2. And he made 3 interception and 3 ball recoveries as well. 0 fouls committed as well. So a very, very solid defensive performance from Joe Rodon. And a FOP mob rating of 7.4. Moving on then to another centre-back, but is currently positioned as a left-back in my team there for some reason. Is Ben Wilmoth. He was on loan at Swansea last season and he played fantastic for us. You can kind of see a bit of a pattern here. I do like previous Swans players and obviously current Swans players as well, but for me, Wilmot stood out last year, and with Watford coming down, big things have been said about Wilmot, like a future captain and whatnot, so fingers crossed he does perform this year, because I'd like to keep him in my team throughout the season. So a 1-0 win against Borough on Friday night, the opening game of the season. It wasn't the most exciting, but Borough did push on towards the end of the game and try and grab something from Watford. So Ben picked up 2 points for a full match. First half clean sheet and a second half clean sheet as well, and then again score dampened by a yellow card, just the same as Pederson. So fingers crossed he can sort that out. He didn't have too much of a threat to deal with from Borough, as I say, apart from the last sort of 20 minutes. 58% pass accuracy, 29 out of 50. So again, certainly very much room for improvement. 64 touches of the ball and played a lot of long balls. So I don't know if that's a tactic Watford are going to implement this season, the long ball from defence over to the attackers. But there was an awful lot in the team. There was about 22 in total, I think there was. And he won 7 duels and lost only 3. So a very good performance. But to be fair to him, there is a room for improvement in the air. He only won 7 of 11 duels and he made 1 interception while he made 4 ball recoveries. A decent FOP mob player rating of 7.1. So then that brings us on to my midfield. It doesn't start off fantastic on the right-hand side with Yaku Meta. I was not aware of it before the season kicked off. I don't know why, but he's suspended, I believe, for the first 2 games. So he will certainly be one of my first substitutions I'll be making for game week 2. So no points scored there. So again, a bit of a positive, bit of a negative. QPR did play a fantastic game though. So unfortunately, no points there, but we'll move on to the next one. So Joshua Da Silva of Brentford, as I say, they did lose a 1-0 to Birmingham. Not the best sort of game for this midfielder. 2 points only earned for the 90 minutes plus played. He only had 1 shot, and that shot was off target. He drew 5 fouls, which is probably the best thing to say about him in this game, but he failed to make a significant impact in the game, as did many of Brentford players. So a FOP mob rating of 6.8. One that I want to keep in the team, so hopefully his performances pick up, as much as I don't really particularly want Brentford to do too great this season. In centre midfield, pairing with him then is Lewis Travis of Blackburn. Unfortunately, only the 2 points there for the 90 minutes played. They lost 3-2 to Bournemouth on Saturday. He only played the 86 minutes, but he got over the 60 minutes, which was required for the 2 points. He was subbed off for Corey Smith, so as they went for a more attacking threat later in the game to try and get something, Travis was substituted. He had one shot which was blocked and a pass rate of 79%, which isn't too bad, as I say, considering some of the stats in this team. He made 31 of the 39 passes successful. He lost out in 13 of 20 duels, and he won 0 of 4 duels in the air. He made 5 ball recoveries, so not a fantastic performance. Definitely an awful lot of room for improvement. Be keeping an eye on him over the next few weeks, because Travis, he had a good season last year, so he's an interesting pick for this team, and again, a player I'd like to keep in the team, so his performances need to pick up, but a pretty poor FOTMob rating of 6.2 for Travis. Moving on then to probably one of the most picked players in this fantasy football, is Todd Cantwell of Norwich. Probably a player that's going to score an awful lot of points in the fantasy football and get an awful lot of points and goals for Norwich this year. They run out 1-0 winners against Huddersfield. Not a fantastic start to the season for Huddersfield. So he picked up 3 points. It could have been more, but he picked up a yellow, which is obviously a -1. So he got 2 points for the 60+ minutes and 2 points for a performance bonus. So that, again, thankfully was a nice little touch. Otherwise, it would have been a single point. So he had man of the match in this game, and he racked up 4 key passes with a pass success rate of 71%. 7 ball recoveries, 1 interception, 3 or 4 dribbles completed, and 13 of 20 duels won. He had the most tackles in the game. That was only 3, so not an awful lot of successful tackles in this match. But as I say, he did have man of the match with a FOTMob rating of 7.9. So very, very good. Promising things to come from Cantwell. Hopefully he can bring those Premier League performances to the Championship, because he looked really, really sharp last year. Moving straight on then to my 2 in attack. 2 players which I definitely want to keep in my team. I'm quite fixed on this squad. The defence I'm willing to move around a little bit, but the midfield and the attack I'm pretty set on, I think, for the season, given maybe we'll see how Travis does as the season goes on. But moving on into attack, we have Andre Ayew of Swansea City, only picking up 4 points this weekend, not really involved an awful lot in front of goal, but certainly creating chances in attack for Jamal Lowe. Jake Bidwell, funny enough, our left back was probably our most attacking player of the weekend, with no out-and-out striker, so Steve Cooper's having to adapt different sort of formations and tactics. But Andre Ayew, as I said, 4 points, so 2 points for the 60+ minutes played. And I have him as my captain, so his points are doubled, which is why I've been given 4. He was involved in pretty much an awful lot going forward, but didn't cause too much of a threat for the Preston goalkeeper. His pass success rate was 66%, so 25 passes of 38 complete, 9 duels of 14 won, which isn't fantastic, and a completed dribble success rate of 2 out of 3. So pretty attacking, not fantastic in the air, but certainly someone who's going to score an awful lot of points for the Swans this year. So Andre Ayew staying in my team. A FOTMob rating of 6.5, one of the lowest in my team this week, unfortunately. Thankfully, his attacking duo in my team is Teemu Pukki. Norwich had a fantastic start to the season with a 1-0 win over Huddersfield, as I just said then, talking about Cantwell. Pukki, being my vice-captain, gets a 1.5 multiplier on all of his points. So 2 points for 60+ minutes. He then set up a goal as well, so that is 3. That's my first assist in the team. And he picked up 4 points for a performance boost, which was fantastic, because I thought he was great in front of goal and quite unlucky not to score 1 or 2 himself. He's just a very unselfish player, which then allowed Norwich to go on and score their goal. But as I say, that goal was scored by Adam Adaya. I believe that's how you pronounce his name, a 19-year-old academy player. He couldn't miss. It was put on a plate for him. A fantastic assist from Pukki. He had the lowest number of touches in the game, though, 24 touches, which hopefully isn't a trend going forward. Pass accuracy, though, of 93%. 14 of his 15 passes were successful. but he needs more touches on the ball and certainly more around goal. As I say, just the 1 assist, 3 key passes, 3 shots, 4 duels lost, 2 aerial duels lost, and was offside once with 2 ball recoveries. So a decent attacking performance, but certainly needs to look a bit more sharper in front of goal himself, with a FOP mob rating of 7.6. So a very, very good performance there from Pukki, picking up 14 points. Thankfully, I had him as my vice captain. Otherwise, he wouldn't have got as many. So looking at my substitute bench there, only one of my 4 subs picked up any points. That was David Marshall of Derby County. A fantastic piece of business for them. He's going to be a great goalkeeper there. So 2 points for the minutes played and -1 for a goal conceded, but a second half clean sheet. So picked up some points, but he certainly, hopefully, can keep a few more clean sheets this season. But I'm not sure if I'll be swapping him out for Woodman, but it'll be interesting to see what sort of boosts we can use to get additional points every week. Troy Parrott, no points. Cameron Carter-Vickers, no points at all. And Callum Patterson, 0 points as well. So hopefully a bit more to come from the players on the bench. I know Troy Parrott's injured at the moment, but he's a player I wanted to include in my squad budget-wise going forward. So that is my team and the points that they have scored this week. So not too bad, 60 points overall. So as I was saying at the start of the video, guys, we do have a private league going here on Total Swans TV, and it is called the Total Swans TV Open League. It's free to join. Come on, join in. There's currently 45 teams. Get in. Let's make it more competitive. At the end of the season, there will be a prize for first place. The prize is undecided yet, but hopefully we can get far more teams involved. I am currently sat in 10th, which I'm very, very pleased with 60 points. Bottom of the table, we have Jack Self with Jack's team sitting on, that's on 23 points. So a lot to improve there from Jack. A lot of players on 0 points, but he does have quite a decent team, to be fair to him. Then looking at the top of the table, we have Josh Good with Josh's team. Some very, very original names there from top and bottom of the table. So hopefully, you know, some great names to come. We'll have a look at those later on. So as I say, top of the table, 76 points. So I'm very, very pleased with my 60. I'm only 16 points off of him. We will now take a look at his squad. He didn't use a boost, so in all fairness to him, that's a very, very good performance, 76 points. So we got 7 points with Ben Foster, who had match played points, first half clean sheet, saves bonus, second half clean sheet. Then Dalsgaard in defence, who had 4 points with minutes played and a second half clean sheet. The same for Rico Henry, 4 points, minutes played and a second half clean sheet. Then Killian Ludwig had 4 points for minutes played and a first half clean sheet. Matthew Pederson, who is a very, very good defender, looking at the performance that he had on the weekend, which was minutes played, first half clean sheet, second half clean sheet, and 3 bonus points. Into midfield, then he has Joe Lolly, 1 point for Joe Lolly, not an awful lot, just minutes played there. David Brooks as well, just the 1 point with minutes played, so they would have played under the 60 minutes. Arnaud Danjuma is looking like a fantastic player for Bournemouth this year. A great start for him. He had him as captain, so his 18 points, but it would have been a natural point scored of 9. So that was for minutes played. He scored a goal and 2 bonus points, so a fantastic performance there. Into attack, he has Naki Wells. He scored 7 points this week with minutes played, an assist, and 2 bonus points. Then Adam Armstrong with 7 points, so that's minutes played and a goal scored as well. And of course, Teemu Pukki has his emergency captain with 14 points. That's minutes played, an assist, and 4 bonus points. His vice captain is Ben Rama, who didn't start. He has Joe Lumley on the bench, who scored 6 points, and Glenn Rea, who scored 5. So 15 points sitting on the bench there. Maybe one of the 2 of those players may come in next week. It'll be very interesting to see what he does and mixes up his team. So as I say, we will always be taking a look at top of the table and what that player's team looks like. Championship fans of all teams are welcome, so please do hit that subscribe button and register your team and get involved. But there's my team there. My team name is fantastic, hung like a bony, sat in 10th on the first page of the league. So get involved, get to the top of that table. Why not? It's absolutely fantastic. Okay, so taking a quick look at Team of the Week. As I said earlier, there is no feature for this, as I can see on the webpage. So it's a case of running through every team, looking at the players, comparing the scores, putting a table together, and then coming up with the Team of the Week. Hopefully a feature comes to the channel before the end of the season, because that would be a fantastic addition and save people a lot of time. So hopefully that is something that can be added. So Team of the Week, this is placed on players just of natural points without any boosts added to the team whatsoever. So in goal this week is Swansea City's Freddy Woodman, scoring 10 points. In defence then, he has Craig Cathcart with 15 points for Watford. Thomas Callas for Bristol City with 10 points. Jake Bidwell of Swansea City with 13 points. And Matthew Pederson of Luton Town with 9. Now, there was quite a few players on 9 points, including Connor Roberts and Joe Roden of Swansea City. But I did not want to overload it with Swansea players, so I opted for Matthew Pederson of Luton Town with 9. In midfield then is Ilyas Chair of QPR with 11 points. Morgan Gibbs-White of Swansea City with 11 points. Josh Windass of Sheffield Wednesday with 14. And then Ovier Ojaria of Reading with 10. In attack, there is Jamie Patterson of Bristol City with 14 points and Lucas Zhao of Reading with 14 points as well. So a very, very strong attacking team of the week. Some fantastic players there with a combined total score of 131 without any boosts whatsoever. We'll have a quick look in a second at the overall league leader, but let me tell you now, that is going to be enough points to clear top of the table, and especially with no boosts used at all. So talking of top of the overall leaderboard, why don't we take the overall standings leaderboard of 5,993 players, awful close to 6,000. They're doing a fantastic job with this website and this hopefully an app would be fantastic. But top of the table of game week 1, clear by a substantial 11 points, is Ian Middleton with his Middlesbrough football team. So his team consists of a very decent defensive squad, to be fair. He did opt for the Park the Bus boost this week, which gives you double points for defenders, but does remove any multipliers for any captains, vice captains, or emergency captain. So very well played with some players there in defence racking up double points, and Craig Cathcart 30 points overall for him. Fantastic defensive performance. So it will be very, very interesting to see how Ian's team does throughout the entire season, or especially the next couple of weeks. But we'll keep an eye on that one next week and see what position he ends up. But as I say, currently first place, 11 points clear of second, which was Beanbag FC by Daniel Beams with multi-captain boost selected. So again, a different kind of boost and 11 points behind. So something to consider as you pick your team and choose your formations and squads for each game week. So that pretty much wraps it up, guys. That's, as I say, we've looked into my team, the teams in the league, the overall team, the league leader, and the team of the week as well. So that brings us to the end. I'm going to wrap it up now. I'm planning on uploading after every single game week. So as the season goes on, some weeks there will be multiple videos coming out, updates on the fantasy football. So please leave a like on the video. It does help the channel. It means an awful lot. Get involved in the comments, as I say, and if you haven't already, guys, why not, if you've made it through to this far through the video, hit that subscribe button and continue with us on this journey. We're aiming for 1,000 subscribers, hopefully by my birthday on October 1st. So show your support, hit that button, all the very best until the next upload or next week. So get involved. We'll showcase your team. Have a fantastic week. Catch you guys soon.